Hey everyone, so this is a review of the Ram Promaster that I've been working on for the last 3 months. Um, it's a unique build. It's for a single gentleman who's going to retire and travel through the nation and see some sights. So you can see there we put an EV charger in for the lithium batteries, 30 amp shore connection, 15 amp plug for his hot plate or oven if he wants to sit outside. Hit everything in nicely into the bumper cowls. Up there we've got a vent for the shower. Tried that. That's a new product which we're quite happy with. Um, so this build was a little unique. We did a lot of different things. Lots of wood product in here that we were quite happy with how it turned out. You can see the indirect lighting on the floor. We pay a lot of attention to lighting. Um, so we got some lighting that fits in up above on the ceiling channels. Tim, the customer, had a specific oven that he liked, so a lot of the design of the van was, so we jumped off of that oven. So we got Corian countertops here, a nice deep, large stainless steel sink. That's our dual covers for it, either Corian or wood. We moved the sink over to behind the wall and left the other side open because when he's cooking, the fumes can go out the door rather than have the sink in the way there. Got upper cabinets above the bed on one side. So 36-inch shower, it's quite large. We did penny tile on the bottom and then raised it up to give a little space for the water to sit after you shower. Nautilus door, self-squeegeeing. The panels in the shower are all FRP. Seals it up quite nicely. The lighting and the fan in there. Back here he had his TV, so I don't have it installed there yet, but those are upper cabinets with locking latches. That's a temporary mattress. We're just waiting for his mattress to arrive. This is a pass-through to his garage space. This was all built to the specs that he wanted for what he's going to be storing. And then we've got he wanted a sliding garbage and recycle bin underneath the sink, so we got that integrated for him and some shelving. And then on the other side below the sink we have a small gray water tank that he can then pull a valve and drain it straight through the floor once that gray water tank fills up. He didn't want any tanks underneath the van because he's going to be using this in the winter. So you see the water filter and then you can see the drain that goes through the floor. We also drain out all the plumbing through that floor drain with separate valves, which allows him to winterize it without leaving the van. It's a signature that I do in all my van builds. See here, a nice deep drawer to keep his hot plates and stuff. We kept everything off the countertop so he has lots of space. We raised the fridge up off the floor. He didn't want to be bending down for that. This tray was for his electronics. He wanted a power bar, and then we put some USB plugs as well. He's going to charge everything overnight in there. Nova Cool 100-liter fridge. Nice height. It worked out beautifully having the drawers below. And then we heat insulated and created his oven space there with ventilation. All these upper cabinets with locking latches. This one's a little different too because we put all the electrical in this bench area here. You can't see it, but at the bottom are two 280 amp hour batteries, lithium batteries. And then above it we have the Renogy 3000 inverter charger, solar charge controller. There's 600 watts of solar on the roof. And we've got a DC to DC 50 amp charger, a Valit gasoline heater, so those two controls there. He can fire up the Valit from Bluetooth, which is nice. So that heats his whole van quite well. We also put in heated floors in this one, so he can heat up the floors and have that nice warmth on his feet. So here I'm just showing you inside the cabinet. That's the Renogy. We've got our DC and AC breaker and fuse panel. All the wiring you can see is marine grade stranded wiring. But everything tucks in nicely. We've got lots of airflow, so it seems to have no problem with testing. There you can see our AC and our solar disconnects and breakers. Main battery disconnect, the two giant lithium batteries. A nice sitting area, and he can swivel the front passenger seat so there can be two people sitting with the lagoon table in between them. It works out quite nicely. And it's really just him traveling, so this is sort of exactly what he wanted for his space. But we're able to integrate all the electronics quite nicely out of the way, and it keeps him out of the bed area and keeps his garage open for storage. And he didn't want to be sleeping on top of the batteries and the electrical. So we've got it quite nicely isolated over there. And he's got a max air fan up top. You'll see there are GFCI outlets on both sides of the kitchen for plugging in hot plates and crock pots and whatever else he needs. There you can see the heater down below the passenger seat. He didn't want the driver's seat to swivel. We put in a window there on the door. He already had factory back windows, so there's lots of light. And you can see the left side we kept fully open to make the van feel spacious. We did not close it in, so the cabinets are all on the right side on the uppers, which allowed for that nice open feeling and the nice wall design. And down here you can see his sort of storage area. Again, temporary mattress up there just for showing. So on this side we've got the 32-gallon wheel well water tank. There's our fill. We've got some lightings there for him. Outdoor shower connection. That's a drain down there for his water tank when he wants to winterize it. And then on this side, behind there is a Victron auto transformer, but this is a switchover between shore or EV charge control. And you just pick which one you're going to use, and it works beautifully. And the big thing about the EV charging is when it's winter and he can't get much solar charging, and if he's not at a campground, he can just roll into a level 2 EV charger and top up his batteries. You can see here we're testing it out at a Flow public charger. It works great. This one happened to be $4 an hour, so it's super cheap, and you can run your oven and charge your batteries and do some cooking at the same time, which is fantastic, especially for cold weather. And just to finish off, a few close-up shots of the van. There's his TV once we finally got in, 32-inch TV. So it's quite a nice build. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. We got a sea level 2 tank monitor there that shows his freshwater and his gray water levels, so he knows. Here you can see we got 600 watts of solar on the roof, which is the best we've ever done on a van, so we're quite pleased with that. The Promaster works out well for that because it has such a large flat roof. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the tour. If you have any questions, again, please just leave them in the comments. Subscribe and like this video if you like what you saw. Thanks.